About Nigeria and what Nigerians are going through right now when we focus on flooding. We're more particular about the aftermath, and we want to share the message of hope. Yes. It's daunting, it's tough, but stay hopeful. And when we want to look at that, we do know that rescue efforts have been ongoing, but we also know that in some cases, diseases could be the result of experiences such as this. Who is hands-on to help the myriad of people who are affected? Should we be more worried now that diseases will spread? How available are consultants like yourself for people who are experiencing this flood?
Thank you very much. It's nice to be here again. For us to situate this situation in more contextual issues, let's look at the cascade from the head perspective. First, there's displacement. Second, there's displeasure. Third, there's distress. Fourth, you have disease. And then lastly, there's dysfunctional health system. So whatever we're doing, we must look at this in that cascade. Now, the head component of this is both the hardware and the software. When there's displacement, what happens? Of course, Prof has said that before, there's loss of livelihood and other things. People become naturally unhappy. You just watch the video from Ondo. The woman is not happy. So the question is, who makes her happy? There must be a support systems or people who are willing to support her willingly. Someone should not be asking her for money at this point that she needs help to get back to her life. Now, if there is displeasure and it's not managed well, it goes into distress. Some people may not be able to cope. That coping mechanism brings mental health issues. Now, is one component that nobody is thinking about with relationship to disasters of this nature. Mental health. Some people cannot naturally cope with the situations. They go into mental health. We have social issues,
trauma.
Social trauma, post-traumatic distress syndrome. I don't want to use big words, but people now they cannot cope. Now, one group that is totally neglected when disaster happens and it has impact on their health and psychology is children. I can tell you that most children who experience disasters never completely recover from it throughout their lifestyle. Because what happens at that stage is that the brain is developing and the trauma affects them. They're asking questions that the parents cannot answer. Now, one component that we need to intentionally as a people bring hope is mental health. And mental health is not just about doctors. It's about the fact that I'm willing to give a helping hand. I'm willing to say, come on, stay with me for a while, and then we'll support you. I'm willing to say, oh, I have some rice here, let's share. I'm willing to say, oh, come on, your children can come stay with my children. They watch television together, and then when you get back to your feet, they are back to you. So we must look at that. That is one component that most people don't pay attention to. Now, the next one is disease. So we're talking about displacement, displeasure, distress,
and
disease.
Disease.
Yes. Now, in fact, the next one is coming up. So now what happens with disease? Two things. These people may be moving to a location with their own disease. So they may have tuberculosis. So they're moving to a location where they are going to spread the tuberculosis. They may have diabetes. Now, of course, they have people who are caring for them at that point. They move to a location where nobody cares for them the way they trust the individual. I mean, the way they are supposed to be cared for, and they trust such people. Again, the situation gets worse. Another issue is that they are moving to a community that already have a condition that they will also get infected. Now, we are seeing the spread of burial ulcers and chronic ulcers around the river banks of border towns with Cameroon. These are issues that we have seen happen, and essentially it's about this displacement that's happened. Then lastly, the dysfunctional health system. Now remember that doctors are involved. So we're supposed to be caring for doing other things. Epidemiologists have been mobilized to all those locations. We're supposed to pay attention to other things. We'll be moved. The system is overwhelmed because most people are leaving the country as health workers, the so-called Japa syndrome. And of course, the few that are left here now have to leave what they're supposed to do naturally to do disaster management on the health component of it. Now, importantly, while they are doing this, they're also overwhelmed. There's burnout. So now for families who have had a health system that is caring for them, Once they move, they are going to face a new total challenge, facing new set of health workers that they can't even trust and things like that. But also remember that the hospitals also get destroyed. Remember the situation of the teaching hospital in Borno?
Yes,
it will take the next 10 years
UMTH.
of concerted effort for that hospital.
The next how many years did you say? A
The
decade?
10 years
A decade.
for that.
To get it back on its feet?
Yeah.
Yes, the equipment in that hospital,
Yes.
the costs. I mean, it's another disaster on its own.